Hi, this is Shiva Rajaya from vitalcoaching.com. We are talking about vital sex and tantric sex, and the topic for this video is 5 steps to unleash the incredible creative power of your sexual energy. Sexual energy is the ultimate creative power. This is how life is created. This is how we were born, generated. And look at us. We are like the most evolved creation on the physical plane on this planet. Much more evolved than anything we were able to create as human beings. So of course, the sexual energy, which is an intelligent, conscious power that has been activated on planet Earth, can also stream through our beings and activate our minds, activate our throats, our power of speech, activate our hearts, and give us a tremendous power, creative power, the ability to generate things we cannot even dream of. So I want to give you 5 steps, 5 tactics or concepts to keep in mind when you want to unleash your creative power. The first thing to understand is that if you are sexually locked, frustrated, that your sexual energy is not flowing, that you have guilt and shame patterns around the use of your sexual energy, you are going to lock your sexual power and not give it space to flow. So the first step is really to honor sexual energy, to see its sacredness, to remove the shame and guilt around the use of your sexual energy. This is the first step. The second step to understand the use of your sexual energy and turn that into a powerful creative force, it is to think and act in the direction of long-term gratification rather than short-term. When you think short-term gratification, what you do is like you aim for a physical orgasm. When you realize the power of long-term gratification, you realize that sexual energy is a power that builds up inside of you, expands, and you aim for orgasmic states, bliss states, rather than short-term sexual gratification. Instead of having a peak orgasm and then releasing all that energy, you cultivate, you concentrate your sexual energy and you allow that energy to flow through your whole being. So this is a radical shift in human consciousness that has been brought to you by the Taoists and the Tantricas. It is the idea of preserving your sexual energy. And that works for both men and women. For women, I still need to do some research because I have double conflicting opinions on the topic. Maybe you have different bodies, different types of women, but what I observed in my life, it is that some women get extremely energy depleted after an orgasm, whereas some women will tend to be multi-orgasmic and keep on going in lovemaking without feeling depleted. So I had experience with both types of lovers. With men, it is a little bit the same. Some men will feel extremely depleted and enter into this refraction zone after ejaculating that can last really for hours, days, or even weeks. Whereas some men, it will take them a shorter time to recover, maybe a few hours to a few days. In the actual research today, it is said that it takes 20 days, 21 days, the equivalent of 3 weeks to recover your stamina after ejaculating for a man. It means that for the 3 weeks after ejaculation, you are in a state of energetic depletion. This means that most men who are sexually active and ejaculate every few days, even once a week, are going to be energetically depleted and not functioning at their best. The consequences on their lives are tremendous, because it means that you might not be performing as well in life, you might not be as creative, you might not be as healthy as you would like to be, because there is a depletion in the energy and you are trying to recover from ejaculation most of the time. For women, you can imagine that there is a similar process going on. It means that the loss of energy that happens in the orgasmic moment, in the orgasmic peak, will also lead to an after sex effect. And during this refraction period, you are not functioning at your top potential. So if you start preserving your sexual energy, engaging into sex, activating your sexual energy, but not losing semen in the process, and not heading towards the peak orgasm, not even full body orgasm, we are talking about entering into an orgasmic bliss state, then this is when your highest level of creative power might be unleashed. I'm talking about experience, personal experience, and situations I faced in my coaching, different people, friends, lovers. This is my life experience. I'm not saying that this is a result of checking the lives of thousands or millions of people. It's possible that your experience might tell you something else. I'm open-minded, and what I'm giving you here is simply something that is a solid experience in my own field. Another thing to understand, it is that sexual exploration within the context of tantric sex is an art form. You have to accept to experiment, to try things, to evolve, to shift, and eventually adapt. And in the way you relate to your lover, it is like being in a group, creating a musical jam. Um, you can see also the body of your lover as a musical instrument. Your own body is a musical instrument. And the goal here is to find ways of entering into beautiful states of energetic resonance. So keep that in mind. It is all an experiment as well. It is all about trying and daring to play, daring sometimes to make some mistakes and not being too attached to that either. Another important point to unleash your creative sexual power, it is to alternate sexual activation with using your creative power to work on projects, to create something with that. Once your sexual energy starts activating your throat chakra here, the throat chakra is the creative center. We call this one Vishuddha. And the moment your throat chakra starts being activated, you really unleash a stream of possibilities inside of you, together with the third eye, which gives you the vision and activates your oracle power. You start seeing the dynamics of life and using your throat chakra, which is your power of speech, literally, but also much vaster than that. This is where, you know, artistic forms are generated. This is where you have the vision and the creative skills that are being unleashed. So when your throat chakra is being activated, this is the moment where you can start engaging into action. And so it's not just about the sexual activation. You know, of course you can engage into hours and hours and days and weeks and months of lovemaking and just focusing on that as an experiment. But shifting from a period of sexual activation to a period of creativity is what is going to generate eventually something out there that other people can see and witness and enjoy your creative energy. So alternate periods of sexual activation with periods of creativity. Very often in a day, for instance, in a typical day, it might mean that you engage into sexual activation, into some sexual practice, into tantric sex practice for an hour or 2 hours a day, and the rest of the day you are creative and going on with your work of whatever creative line you are into. Another important aspect of activating your creative power is to practice, to keep on activating it. Instead of having something that sounds a little bit like a marathon and you have a great weekend of love making and then you forget about it for, you know, for a week or 2 weeks and then it happens again. No, it's having a more regular practice is something that gives you boosts of energy uh, in a rhythmic form or in cyclic form. And so having those daily boosts of energy, of sexual activation, keeps your energy flowing. It's a little bit like any other form of physical training. You can literally engage into going and jogging for like 2-3 days and then you don't practice anything for a week or two. When you get back to jogging, you have to start all over again. So having a daily boost of sexual power and sexual activation is really the um, the practice that keeps those juices flowing into your system. It's extremely powerful. If you want to remember one core message from this video, is really this one. Realize that sexual energy is a sacred source of creative power, and the sex chakra, your sex center, are extremely linked with your throat chakra, and that the transmutation of energy, of sexual energy, can really happen through your throat. It means that there is a rising of energy that is going to blossom in lots of creative juice and creative power. I'm sure you get it, right?